Hey guys, welcome to a new video on the dumb diorama. This is sort of a work in progress or review video for the project and the process, the competition experience. Well, now the competition is already over. The winners were announced and we will get to that in a minute. So first things first, the planning for this diorama. I wanted to use the high-grade universal century dome/brick dome, which I ended up using the dome. And my first idea was to highlight the pose, to have the main point of the diorama to be the pose. But at the same time, I wanted to have a realistic diorama. So if I focused on the pose and if I wanted the dome to be simple and have a more realistic design, there will be little room for displaying technical skill. Then I decided to shift the main point, the highlight of the diorama, towards the base itself. I knew this contest was going to be hard, there will be a nice level of entries, and I wasn't wrong at all. So I decided to make the base more complex and I showed the judges that I can scratch build. I made the main building from scratch, and also the terrain side of the diorama base, like the rocks, the grass, all of that. I wanted to show that I have a sense of realism, of color richness, and I can execute that. So I went for that, opted for a more complex base, and decided to put more effort into the backstory as well, in order to have a solid idea of what was happening, what was going on in this scene, in case I wanted to make more elements later, which ended up happening. I originally had thought of, for example, the terrace on the main building, adding just like a couple crates and a sign, for example, and I started making more and more stuff, and it ended up looking very realistic and detailed. Regarding the backstory itself, as I mentioned in the work in progress video, I wanted to make the industrial district look like it was very big and had a lot of buildings and plants and all of that, but it wouldn't make sense to make the entire base in a diorama. So I made just a corner of it and the dome is standing there, and to give the idea of the base being much bigger and this just being a corner of a huge base, I added number water slides to the plants and the main building. The main building was number 45, if I remember correctly, and the plants were 36 and 37. I added these hints to give an idea of the base being much bigger and having more buildings, and it's up to you guys to imagine how many more of them there are. The story I imagined was that this dome was in a battle with a Federation suit, of course, and while moving around the battlefield, trying to attack and to dodge the enemy's strikes, this dome ended up in the corner of this old industrial district, and the pilot either remembers this base as if he had been there before, or realizes it's a Sion base based on the Sion flag on the main building. So he tries to protect it from the Federation suit, which I don't know why, but I imagine it's a GM. And he tries to lure the GM away from the base by using the heat sword. Well, you guys decide if the pilot had been already there before, or he just tries to protect the base out of respect for the workers who served Sion during the time when it was still active. Well, for the build itself, the modeling aspect of this project, regarding paint, my idea for a color scheme was to have I wanted to try this camouflage pattern, but I wasn't sure if it was better to freehand it or to mask. I ended up masking, as you may have seen on the work in progress videos, and as with most of my builds, I want the predominant color to be low saturated and light so that the weathering shows very well. These colors are Model Master paints that I mixed, no exact ratio or anything. But actually the yellow was a Russian marker yellow with a bit of red added to make it more orangey, but it's, yeah, pretty much the same color straight out the bottle. I'm going to go over the process very briefly because you have the work in progress videos. Most of them are 30 minutes long. And well, where to start? I did some slight modifications to the kit. For example, scribing on the legs, the black plate details. Also, I extended the vest or chest part vertically, the area that goes between the head and the shoulders. I don't know what you call that. I extended that vertically by half a millimeter, and also I extended the back skirt to make it longer. And a subtle modification I do through almost every kit I build was to scribe the panel lines on the nooks or recesses to make everything more defined, so that the panel lines, when I apply a wash, they're more defined and crisp. And I also added a part from the high-grade Thunderbolt ball, which is the thing that is on the chest. For the painting process, I've already talked about the planning of the color scheme, but the painting itself was very straightforward. Well, I had to mask to make the camo, but that was very simple. It takes a bit of time, but it's very simple. And I primed the whole kit with the Mr. Surfacer 1200. It was my first time using lacquers and I loved that primer. I could spot every imperfection on the kit and correct it before painting, and then spray the enamels afterwards. They were all Model Masters, as I said before, and if I remember correctly, I started from the dark grays. I let them dry for 3 days. They are enamels, they have to cure, and then did some highlighting, spraying a slightly lighter gray. I also did some pre-shading on the light color, the skin color you could say, but it doesn't really show in the final product. For the camouflage, I started from the Russian marker yellow, which was the color I wanted the dome to have the most. Then sprayed the green, I had to mask of course, and then the brown to outline the green areas. It was very straightforward, but it takes time because they are enamels, they have to cure for a couple of days. But yeah, it came out good enough, so I'm satisfied with that. There's definitely room for improvement, but again, this was my first time doing camouflage on a kit. I want to try freehand camo next, so this was a nice first experience. For the diorama base, I wanted to have mostly terrain, grass, with some rocks here and there, and the corner which the dome was facing, I wanted to have some dead space there to give that dynamism and the hint that the dome is probably going in that direction next. I planned the main building by drawing a sketch on a notebook, trying different styles and how many windows, where the gate would be, all of that. For the size, I calculated how tall it would be in real life and did the math on an app called Hobby Color Converter, and there's a scalator tool on that app which you can use to to have the math done very quickly from 1:1 scale and convert it to 1:144, and you can choose whatever scale you want, and I use that. Very useful app. And during this project I collected pieces of plastic, for example, when I was scratch building, plate pieces or pieces from the runner, that kind of stuff, and put it all together in a paint tray, which I used to make debris. And yeah, I wanted to focus on details that you could keep staring at for hours. I printed some signs, I made the crates using 0.5mm flat plate, some bricks out of 1mm flat plate, the barrel using runner, also using runner the cardboard boxes, and many things that I wanted to add because adding all these elements one by one would make some areas more detailed, thus attracting the viewer's eye. There's also the pipeline area, which I had to remake after almost having finished. Everything was looking nice, the rocks were looking good, but I had added too many layers of the water effects product I made, and I had to remake all of that, add new rocks, paint them again, and by just brushing on a thin layer of the water effects product, it was enough and it looked very nice. And yeah, that's basically it. I focused mainly on details, and you can see all of this in the work in progress videos. There's 5 of them. Regarding the contest, I didn't win any of the main awards, but I was happy to be chosen by Zach Aurelius as the special judge award. So that's very nice. I'm really thankful for that. And next are the photos of the finished diorama. So enjoy and thank you for watching. The next project is gonna be the Hybrid Universal Century Zigog for It's a Gundam Facebook group, and there's a video related to that coming soon, so stay tuned. I will be posting updates on my Facebook page regularly, and yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching.